Yeah, so if he was pound for pound, Floyd was pound for pound. You or Floyd, who would have done that? Who would have won that?
No. Man, me versus anybody. I'm gonna always say me.
Okay.
Come on now.
I found myself in the past, the younger Floyd Mayweather, going back and forth on the internet with different people. But I'm in a better place in my life right now. Mm-hmm. I couldn't actually be in a better place. So the old Floyd Mayweather, when I used to go back and forth with people on social media, I don't do that.
Terence Crawford couldn't have an error to himself. And if you put Terence Crawford against any opponent on Floyd's resume, who do you have favorite? Terence Crawford or one of Floyd's opponents?
Why does Ryan keep mentioning another?
No, I'm asking the question first. Do we got Terence Bud Crawford beating everybody on Floyd's resume?
Floyd Mayweather is back in the spotlight, this time for sparking tension with Terence Crawford. In a recent interview, Mayweather questioned Crawford's motives, suggesting that his chase of Canelo Alvarez might be fueled by money. The comment immediately stirred controversy, and Crawford quickly fired back, making it clear that while Mayweather is a legend, he's completely missing the point.
Like I've been saying for years, you put me in the ring with all the great fighters around my weight class, past, present, future. I'm gonna hold my own against all of them.
You'd think someone like him, one of the greats, would understand why I want to face a fighter like Canelo, Crawford said, frustrated by constant claims that he's only chasing a payday. For Crawford, this fight is about legacy, proving he's the best of this era, not just chasing money. He's been clear for months. His pursuit of Canelo isn't about the purse, it's about testing himself against the best. And if anyone should get that, Crawford says, it's Floyd. That's just the truth.
When these guys, certain fighters, when they want to fight, our job is to line it up. And us fighters, we're warriors. We're gonna always we always want to fight the best.
Crawford sees facing Canelo as the ultimate challenge, one that could define his career and secure his place in boxing history. The idea that he's only chasing Canelo for money, however, frustrates him deeply. He expected Mayweather, who built his own legacy by taking on the biggest names, to understand that. Instead, Floyd suggested Crawford is just after a payday, which didn't sit well with the welterweight champion. Pushing back, Crawford boldly said that even if Mayweather were the one on the throne instead of Canelo, he'd still go after him and win, a statement that clearly shows his mindset.
Is Floyd gonna come out of retirement
and fight
Crawford?
You actually the hardest working man in boxing.
Yeah, he said, now break it down, Calvin. Floyd against Crawford.
That's a good one, you know what I'm saying? Because you got the old GOAT great, you know what I'm saying, against the new GOAT great.
TBE versus the Pound for Pound King.
Yeah, so that's a good one. That one, the pay-per-views would be stupid.
I'm all for it. Make it happen.
Yeah, the pay-per-view would be
I'll beat whoever is in front of me, whether it's Canelo or anyone else, Crawford said. He added that even if Floyd Mayweather stepped forward asking for a fight, he believes he would beat him too, because his goal is to prove he is the best. The statement instantly set fans talking, with many calling it one of Crawford's most controversial comments and sparking fresh debate. People are now asking whether a prime Crawford could really challenge a prime Mayweather, and while opinions are flying, the question remains unanswered.
This guy, in my opinion, could have fought in any era, and on any given night could have beaten any welterweight in the history of the sport. Could have beaten any welterweight in the history of sport. And I'm going to go one further. Prime for prime at 147, Terence Crawford beats Floyd Mayweather. Hands down. Hands down.
Mayweather, of course, isn't letting it slide. In his interview, he explained what he thinks Crawford should do if he truly wants to face Canelo. According to Mayweather, Crawford should first take on David Benavidez, and if not, then face Jaron "Boots" Ennis, the fast-rising welterweight star. If you're all chasing the same fighter and can't get him, then you should fight each other, Mayweather said, framing it as simple logic. In his view, Crawford still needs to prove himself at higher weight classes before earning a shot at Canelo. However, not everyone agrees with that opinion.
Terence Crawford is one of the smartest fighters I've ever seen. Very smart, always in shape, and he can figure out anybody. And it don't make no difference if it's two weight classes or not. If you have it here and you have the skills to match this, that's tough to do.
Mayweather also highlighted Crawford's lack of activity in recent years, noting that over the past 4 years, he's only fought once per year. While his dominant win over Errol Spence Jr. made a statement, Crawford has struggled to secure major fights since then. Mayweather suggested that this inactivity could be why Crawford is pushing so hard for a fight with Canelo. It's simply the biggest opportunity available. But Crawford isn't buying that narrative. He knows he's already one of the greats.
Weather, Leonard, Hagler, Duran, Hearns.
My name already up there. You know? It's just a matter of going on.
Instead of waiting for Canelo, Mayweather suggested Crawford face someone like David Benavidez, who is also chasing the Mexican superstar. If you want to move up to 168 and fight Canelo, Benavidez wants that fight too. If it can't happen, then fight each other, Benavidez and Crawford, Mayweather said. But Crawford doesn't see it that way. He's not just after a big fight, he's chasing the biggest one. To him, taking a detour to face Benavidez or Jaron Boots Ennis doesn't make sense when he's already among boxing's elite. Crawford has been outspoken about what he thinks of Mayweather's advice, and even some in Mayweather's own camp admit that Crawford might just be the better fighter.
He not considered great, he's already a great fighter, but to be considered probably the best. I mean, he's in a position to be considered probably, better than Floyd. He's in that position.
Better than Floyd?
I mean, he's in that position.
Oh, okay.
I mean, because Floyd's 50 he's...
This is the same Floyd Mayweather who fought Andre Berto in his last fight, right? The same guy who cherry-picked his way to 50-0? And now he wants to tell me who I should fight. Man, miss me with that. Crawford fired back, calling out what he sees as pure hypocrisy from Mayweather. He pointed out that Floyd, who hand-picked opponents late in his career, has no room to lecture him. Mayweather fought Canelo when Canelo was still young and inexperienced, and now Crawford says he's simply trying to do what Floyd once did, secure the biggest fight possible. Yet suddenly, Mayweather is acting like that's a problem.
Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude was nothing. I was almost 40 years old when I cooked this dude.
Mayweather, eager to defend his legacy, pushed back against critics who claimed he fought a young Canelo at a catchweight to gain an advantage. In the interview, he clarified that it was actually Canelo's team who set the catchweight, not him. Just for the record, a lot of people said it was at a catchweight. I didn't choose it, Canelo did, Mayweather said. He also pointed out that today's boxing scene is filled with fighters unsure whether they're chasing legacy, money, or both.
Years. Canelo fought a smaller Mayweather. Canelo fought a smaller, Amir Khan.
Yeah, he did at 155. Yeah,
Amir Khan. He fought Jamel Charlo, and I'm pretty sure he didn't make as much money with all those guys except Mayweather, even Berlanga right now.
Mayweather also criticized the current state of boxing, saying there are too many champions and too many belts. He believes the sport should return to an old-school approach where the best fighters face each other without all the politics. We have to go back to the old school. Many good fighters face each other, and many great fighters face each other, but we have to cut out all these belts. There are too many champions, Mayweather said, making it clear he's not a fan of how boxing is run today.
About him, his experience, he's so smart. He have everything in a fighter, a complete fighter. He don't have power in the punches, but when you that kind of fighter, you don't need it.
You think that was the toughest fight you faced?
No.
What do you think?
I think he's a tough fights and difficult fight.
This isn't the first time Crawford and Mayweather have clashed. Long before Leonard Ellerbe was let go, Crawford had criticized how Mayweather Promotions managed its fighters. He wasn't alone. Gervonta Davis, one of Mayweather's top stars, had voiced similar frustrations. Crawford questioned Mayweather's shift from fighter to promoter, arguing that despite earning hundreds of millions, he wasn't doing enough to support the next generation. For Crawford, it wasn't just about money. It was about how the business side of boxing was holding young fighters back from reaching their full potential.
Him trying to give the game to the young fighters because he's a promoter now. I can't give everybody the game if I'm one of them now. It's a business at the end of the day. So if they made all this money on our backs as fighters and now I'm a promoter, I'm going to do the same thing that they once was doing and just say it's just the game.
Floyd made his money. He did his thing, Crawford said, but I don't see him really helping these fighters the way he should. It's like once he got to the top, he just wants to stay there alone. The comment caused an immediate stir. While Floyd built his legacy as boxing's smartest businessman, Crawford painted him as someone more focused on protecting his own status than creating opportunities for others.
So they pay the fighters. They don't have to wait for, that was the big problem in the past, is that these boxing promoters would come in and they wouldn't make as much money as they thought they were going to do, so they would stiff the fighters and not pay the guys. And that's why these regulations are in place in these different states.
Leonard Ellerbe, who ran Mayweather Promotions, fired back with a short but firm response, "Totally disagree." But that wasn't enough to end the debate. Crawford had already raised a question many had been asking for years. Is Mayweather Promotions truly helping fighters, or is it just another way for Floyd to stay in control of the sport?
But to answer your question, it's black people that got me in the situation. People that look just like me. They say they come from the hood. That's starving me on purpose. Black. So it's not about supporting black in public. It's about being truthful.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis had already been pushing back against Mayweather Promotions, openly expressing frustration over how his career was being managed. He even criticized Mayweather, suggesting his success benefited Floyd more than himself. Crawford highlighted this, saying, "Look at how Tank had to fight his way out just to get some freedom. And that's the same guy who was making y'all millions." Crawford added that not every fighter under Floyd's banner seems to have the same experience.
Inside of Floyd, it was a great experience because, you know, that's like somebody I looked up to from a young kid. And I was kind of like, I always felt like I had the same talent he had, but I just always wanted to prove myself to him. I really signed him to get next to him and get knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wasn't about the money, but obviously when I first was a young kid, he put some money in front of me, and I thought that was a lot of money, and I thought that I was gonna get moved like Gervonta was, obviously. Yeah. So when we was in a contract, I would see, you know, guys.
It was all just talk. Davis eventually left Mayweather Promotions, and instead of fighting to keep him, Mayweather acted as if it was no big deal. That only reinforced the idea that he wasn't truly invested in his fighters once they began to rise. He didn't want to share the spotlight. Crawford went further, criticizing the lack of new stars coming out of Mayweather Promotions. Even with the latest prospect, Carmel Moughton, Floyd has a way of redirecting attention back to himself.
Fights, 150 fights, 300 fights. Did I not beat the most world champions?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights?
Yes, you did.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying that
I mean, it's right there in front of us, Crawford said. Why hasn't Mayweather Promotions built another Tank? Why don't they have another big name headlining pay-per-views? Because it ain't about building the next champ, it's about keeping Floyd's name the biggest in the room. It was a harsh statement, but one that resonated with many. While other promotional companies like Top Rank and PBC continued producing new champions, Mayweather Promotions saw fighters leaving or avoiding signing altogether. Crawford was voicing what many had already suspected. Mayweather wasn't building a legacy with his fighters, he was protecting his own. Ellerbe tried to defend Mayweather, insisting the promotion had done plenty, but it didn't change the perception.
He's not gonna hurt me, you know what I mean? So it's good to be with him than be cool with him, because he can do some crazy stuff. He'll picture him sit.
Despite Crawford's criticisms, it doesn't mean Mayweather doesn't respect him as a fighter. Known for speaking his mind, Mayweather didn't hesitate when asked about the best fighter in the world today. While many debate between Alexander Usyk, Naoya Inoue, and Terence Crawford, Mayweather has already made his pick. Crawford is the pound-for-pound best. Coming from a man who once dominated boxing and rarely hands out praise, that statement carries serious weight. Having faced legends and built a promotional empire, Mayweather doesn't give compliments lightly. So when he said, "I think Terence Crawford right now in the sport of boxing is the pound-for-pound best fighter," it sent shockwaves through the boxing world, essentially crowning Crawford as the ultimate fighter.
Terence Crawford, right now in the sport of boxing, is the pound-for-pound best fighter in the sport of boxing right now. It's good to see him in his position, in the position that he's in. I think he has a beautiful family. I think he has a beautiful wife, a beautiful queen.
Here's where it gets even more interesting. Crawford is now chasing a fight with Canelo Alvarez, the same man Mayweather defeated over a decade ago. If Crawford succeeds, he won't just be the best in boxing today, he'll be challenging Mayweather's legacy. Mayweather has often reminded everyone that he beat a younger Canelo, but if Crawford defeats him in 2025, he'll accomplish something Mayweather never had to face, proving himself at such a high weight.
I see that I favor Canelo is that, you know, is his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody and probably do way better. You know what I'm saying? But you know, Crawford is a legend, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, you can't.
That's where the controversy starts. Mayweather says he respects Crawford's greatness, but deep down, does he really want to see him succeed at this level? If Crawford beats Canelo convincingly, people will inevitably ask a loaded question. Who did it better, Mayweather or Crawford? For someone as prideful as Floyd, that's not a conversation he wants circulating. But, of course, it's already begun.
I swear to God. I swear to God, people say that. He said, how can Crawford not top Mayweather if he stops Canelo? That's just Canelo. My brother is just Canelo. But what about that other Hall of Fame legend, Juan Manuel Marquez? What about the other Hall of Fame legend, Miguel Cotto and Manny Pacquiao?
Mayweather's praise of Crawford is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it looks like he's giving Crawford the respect he deserves. On the other, it's a way for Mayweather to stay relevant and control the narrative. If Crawford wins big, Floyd can say, "I told you he was the best," making it seem like his words made it official. If Crawford loses, he'll be first to say, "I warned y'all." Moving up in weight isn't easy, and either way, Mayweather comes out on top.
He can put a beating on anybody 154, 160.
But not 68.
Nah, Benavidez is...
Oh, Canelo. Yeah.
Oh, Canelo. I think he's a smart fighter. He doesn't rely on his power. Crawford ain't a fighter who just relies on his power.
Meanwhile, Crawford is brushing off the doubters as usual. He's spent his career proving people wrong, and this is just another chapter. "I've been doubted my whole career," Crawford said. "They never thought I'd be where I am now. Same script, different opponent. They said I was too small for Jeff Horn. I beat him. Too small for Sean Porter. I stopped him. Errol Spence was supposed to be too big and strong. I made him look like an amateur. Now Canelo is the new mountain, and the doubters are back. Stop if they fight in May. Canelo, proper decision."
If they fight in May, Canelo and Crawford.
Decision or...
And why does Canelo beat him, before you get out of here?
All right, listen, we can have the skills and everything, but jumping that much like that...
It's a takeover.
Jumping like that much, getting hit. I don't think Crawford's ever fought a fighter that's hit him directly, just straight, constantly in the arms. And it's not because they can't. They don't think that way.
Appreciate you.
Gotta clear it out, guys. Remember, this man's been pro since what, 14?
Mm-hmm. 15.
15.
Yeah, 15.
Doesn't make it.
But there's another layer. Mayweather was once in the same position. When he fought Oscar de la Hoya, people doubted him. When he faced Canelo, many thought he was too old. He proved them wrong every time, just like Crawford is doing now. So when Mayweather calls Crawford the best fighter today, is he seeing a reflection of himself? Is he acknowledging that Crawford is carrying the torch he once held, or is it just Floyd playing his usual mind games, knowing his words will keep him in the headlines? Crawford's path to pound-for-pound supremacy isn't over, but if he beats Canelo, the debate will be settled.
2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, you know.
May have already called him the best, but if Crawford wins decisively, he won't need Floyd's validation. He'll be in a league of his own. For someone as competitive as Mayweather, watching Crawford reach that level might not be as enjoyable as he makes it seem. But can Crawford really beat Canelo? And should he have tested himself against a bigger fighter first? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more updates.